Hello, this is teddygaming. Welcome back to another read-through on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RW tmnt Annual 2021. Normally I'll go say what happened in the last one, but depending where it will place it in the timeline, is good enough for now. But for a little catch-up, Rat King's go around recruiting people for his Phantom Family game, and we could see some cool stuff in this one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this one. Let's go! And before we do get started, if you do like this content and want to see more from this channel, please do make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications. Now let's get on with the video. Frankly, I'm as surprised as you that this meeting hasn't happened sooner. And as one who thrives on being a persevere of surprise, it's only a pleasant surprise to be surprised, which is certainly a lot of surprises. But, not surprisingly, I disagree. The purpose of this formation meeting is a recruitment call of sorts, or perhaps an exclusive incitement would be a more palatable description, a personal invitation from me to you, to mix business with my pleasure by joining in the greatest competition this world has ever known. But first, I suppose introduction and a bit of history are in order. After all, I know everything about you, yet I no doubt in you a burning curiosity about me. To begin with, you may call me the Rat King. I am one of 8 mortal siblings, each of us possessed of diversely unique powers and personality. The Mammoth, the Jinglas Jaguar, the Topaz Toe Baron, the Champion Chiyu, the Compirisis Kitsune, the Angelic Aka, the Skillful Gofonu, and yours truly, of course, the respectively Rat King. All iterations aside, a fantastically formidable family. Since the dawn of time, we played what we might call a supernatural game of conquest and chaos, the chaos part being my particular fault, using our special abilities in a never-ending conquest of one manship. And when the merciless forces of nature banished our once magnificent home down to the formless depths, what could have been an utter tragedy instead became an opportunity to spread our influence and our infinite game to the far corners of the world and everywhere in between. And spread it we did, some far more than enthusiastically than the others. My sister, Kitsune, in particular, has been on a rather aggressive run up until recently. She'd been playing a long game during which time she was able to identically remove Big Brother Chiyu from abroad, no small feat that, as well as good sister Aka. All in the hopes of arising our dragon father from the netherworld, willing even to sacrifice her very own granddaughter in the pursuit of victory. Enthusiastic indeed. As I'm sure you've already summarized, however, she failed in the end. The mangled carcass of her our father's dragon hose rotting in our greatest city streets would have been hard to miss. But what has any of this to do with you, you ask? Excellent question. You see, the source of my sister's failure, nay, the source of all my siblings' recent failures, as well as many of your own, is an annoying assembly of antagonistic shared by us all. Do I really have to spell it out for you? And although some of these monstrous sports have also been removed from the playing board, remaining mutants and their human comparators continue to be a festering thorn in the side of all who they oppose. Even my most charming and eloquent attempts at enlisting certain individuals amongst them into my team, so to speak, have been met with obstinate rejection of late. Now, normally I'd relish such an influence competitive spirit. An easy triumph in any contest is nothing more than a hollow victory after all. But with each new snub, I was suddenly struck with the notion that perhaps my family's long-standing game may have run its course, an impression that provided lamentably value during a recent jaunt I undertook to visit said family, starting in the Amazon rainforest. Would you look at that, my children? It appears we've arrived just in time for a barbecue. And apparently I'm surprisingly supplying the hall's d'oeuvre. Hello, brother. Welcome to the jungle. Ah, Sister Jaguar. There you are. And don't you look bloody ravishing. Emphasis on bloody. Your handiwork, I presume? Practically. I'm not alone. I see. Quite an entourage you keep here in the heart of darkness, sister. Save your juvenile mockery, Rat King. These are the guardians of the forest. Indeed, dangerous protectors sworn to exterminate the plague or corrupt thieves who illegally plunder their jungle home for profit. And you? I am their protector. Now, explain why you are here, brother, and be quick about it. Our mission against these criminal lodgers is not yet complete. This won't take long, I promise. I merely come to update you on Kitsune's recent attempt to bring back dear old Daddy Dragon. 'Twas a valiant effort by our little sisters indeed, yet nothing more than an abject failure in the end. I assumed much. Had she succeeded in raising father, then these burning jungles would have been the least of his planet concerns. Foolish girl with foolish desires. That said, I'm also here today to remind you that the game does go on. Fair. The only thing more foolish than our spoiled brat sister daddy issues is your continued investment in that ridiculous game of yours. Game of mine? I seem to recall a time when you were engaged as any of us in the fun of it. Eons past, maybe, when there seemed a purpose to it all, and an endgame with one winner to rule over the others, the losers. But the small, simple realm that was once our playground has become rather large and complicated now, and I have no interest in the so-called first world civilization you lot contended for. It's a zero-sum game of divide and conquer you play, and the human mortals you use as pawns are nothing more than mindless sheep blindly faithfully to inane governmental and ideological institutions, choosing imaginary sides that are really only separate portions cut from the same rotten fruits. I prefer to expand my energies here, in the centre of it all, where there is no political princess, no fool's pity, where there is only one law, a warrior's law, the law of the jungle. And what of the mutants, They gave you quite the warrior's challenge during our sentimental Rahood, did they not? Challenge? Hardly, brother. I remember things somewhat differently, starting with a pathetically feeble and easily repelled sneak attack by the filthy creatures, ending with a cowardly technology retreat. Cowardly? I seem to recall Brother Mammoth proclaiming their escape to be quite clever. Yes, while our woolly beast of a brother might be massive, but intellect, giant he surely is not. Goodness, Goddess, please forgive me my interruption, but the other truck are approaching. Understood. Tell the warriors to return to their ambush positions. Goddess, is it? What was that you said about a blind faith, sister? Trust me, these brave souls offer their faith to me with eyes wide open, and besides, it was also a point of being an immortal demigod. If you aren't worshipped as one, now if you step aside or join the battle to come, Rat King. By all means, battle away, dear sister, battle away. Oh, I intend to. And so she did. She and her guardians of the forest laid the perfect trap, luring in their enemies and then taking them down with merciless ease. It was quite a sight, believe you me, and it drove home further the disappointing truth my sister's earlier words had conveyed, that she replaced her passion for our family game with an oath weighted in blood for her new tribe. Disappointing, but true, and my cue to move on from killing fields to what I hoped would be a more welcome abode. So one last admiring look at Jaguar's sensational slaughter, I stepped through the thin places and into the den of delights. Heads up! Was this a bit of a throw-in, then, Governor? You know, I've always preferred a good kick. Time out! Someone whistle, Alberto, and commence with the intermission. then go in and fish a ball out from a lake. It absolutely will not do to have another one drown before the game is complete. Hello, Toad Baron. It is good to see you. Ah, Rat King, greetings. Put your wretched back into it, and Bob and friends. Do you wish me to trouble in front of our guests? Mummy. To what do I owe this unexpected and wholly unsolicited social call, good brother? Not entirely social, as it turns out. I come to discuss the business of our games. Coincidentally enough, our family game to be exact. Oh, that. I hope I heard the last of it after learning of Kissine's recent miserable failure. Frankly, none was more relieved than yours truly by the news. Father was always such a party pooper. It's only put the dragon. Beg pardon? Not you, Steve. Well, this is definitely a revelation. Of all my siblings, I thought it was you who would still maintain a healthy appetite, but I'm thoroughly Toad Baron. Oh, I greedily gobble up fully for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and numerous nibbles in between. No, never you worry. It's just that the whole game has become less a scrumptious repeat and more a bitter pill recently, especially since those meddling mutants interjected themselves into the proceeding. Is that so? Do tell me. Well, if I must, it all started with our abortious snow fox Alapex and an equally ill-mannered partner, a human called Angel Bridge, both of whom I so very cordially invited into the Den of Delights, only to have them turn my beautiful balcony into a room brawl. Then, as you well know, those tactless terrapins of terror turned out to ruin our family's central celebration, not to mention a plethora of my priceless possessions in the process. And if that weren't enough, the reckless foursome intruded into my humble home once again, and this time demonstrating their animalistic abuse against good Alberto and his fellow frogs. 'Twas undoubtedly an utterly undeserving undertaking for my unquestioning underlying, you understand, my kingdom for wheelchair friends. No, brother. What was once fully, as you say, has become far too serious. An enterprise these days, destructive, dire, and as I'm sure dear old Aka would attest, deadly. You described it as the business of gains, and you were half right. 'Tis become more tedious cooperation venture than anything else. Me, I prefer my fun to be, well, fun. Are we ready to continue? Yes, master. No skivvies here, mate. Players to a pitch. You are more than welcome to join in, brother. I call this game Noggin Knockers, my very own invention. It combines football, rugby, Roman wrestling, and should it go into extra time, horseshoes, jump roping, and blindfolded one-arm canastra. Thank you, but I think I'll pass. One question before I leave, though. What are the rules? Rules? Ha! Bob, Franz, hot to it, you lustrous loots. Our time is finished. I think my hot's finished too, Bob. I remain to watch the competition for a bit. Such a strange sport. Normally the first to embrace chaos, but the bedlam unfolding before me soared even my most archaic tastes. As I continued to observe, my mind wandered back to what Sister Jaguar had said about Zero Scum Games. Brother Toad or the contest was certainly one of those. No winners, no losers, no rules, a psychotic status quo. Was this also true for our family game? And if so, what was the point of playing with no distinguishable trophy to strive towards? The thought generally disturbed me. As uncertain as I was beginning to feel, however, I wasn't yet ready to throw in the towel, so I turned my sights to Siberia. My. Now, what sport is this? Oh, hello, Rat King. Thought I called in your scent. I'll just be a moment. Come then, mangy beast. The time has arrived to eat or be eaten. That's the spirit. Such fine teamwork. Commendable, but futile. And that is that. Well fought, my canine comrades. Well fought indeed, brother Mammoth. Colour me impressed. Don't be. One misplaced slash with my blade, and it would have just as easily been me lying in my own anchor. Still, you were victorious in the end. Unlike Sister Kitsune, have you heard? Yes. And if you ask me, that stupid girl's failure was a win. That dragon return would have brought ruin to us all. And yet we remain standing, most of us at least. And the game plays on. Bah! It's as I told those 12 mutants when we visited here. I quit that pointless charade long ago. The mutants? Here? I thought as much. A crafty herd, a breed that lot. I first suspected it when we fought them in Unstoppable Hove. As suspicious that proved correct when they battled me to a draw on these very same snow-covered plains. Well then, you must admit, brother, their kind offer a challenge hard to resist. That's enough to coax even you back into the fray. Look around, you, Rat King. I live every single day of my life in the fray. And as for the mutant, old Akka had the right of it when she had you underestimated those creatures at your own peril. She understood they aren't disposable pawns or helpless playthings to be trifled with. No. What are they then? Survivors. Well, it's getting late, brother, and I have a long night of skinning and gutting ahead of me. You can see yourself out. I watched him leave, the irony of the moment not lost to me. Brother Mammoth had mocked my devotion to our long family game, a game he tried to convince me was pointless, and yet the trophies he carried home with him only served to motivate me even more. His contest with the Predators was not pointless. He thought he won, and in doing so, the spoils of victory were his. Unlike Toad Baron, ridiculous sport, this was mayhem with a purpose. For Jaguar to Baron to Mammoth, it was all beginning to come together for me in a most unexpected fashion. I was ready to return home with my newfound knowledge and determination, but first, one last stop was in order. The Pacific Northwest. And so, there you have it, good Ganelf. Kitsune fails, Dragon is vanquished, and the game continues apace. What say you, brother? Ready to get back into the swing of things? No. Oh. Honestly, no surprise there. Which brings me back to the here and now, and to you. You see, other than Brother Granos' stereotypically suspension rebuff, I walked away from a similarly disappointed family reunion tour to the better of it. First, Sister Jaguar reminded me how important real stakes were to any game, including our families. You play to win, and winning should mean something, as it once did for us before we lost our ancient home, and with it our ways. Next, the Forever's Toad Baron put my own peasant chance for mayhem into stark perspectives. The path to victory comes when chaos serves as means to an end. Chaos simply for chaos' sake. There's a sure road to defeat and madness. Finally, the mighty Mammoth demonstrated to me that no matter how much odds might be stacked in one's favour, it is a deadly mistake to underestimate any foe, or ally for that matter. Ultimate triumph. After all, the domain of survivor. And I realise now that I've been going about things the wrong way. Anarchy, concussion, subterfuge, and hijinks. Yet near a distinct goal in sight. Chaos for chaos' sake. Playing just to play, or no more. I'm here today to ask you to join my team. To help me make the old games new once again. To seek out and win the ultimate trophy. To rule this world and all who inhabit it. Tell me, are you in? If you find a way to rid me of this accursed other-sized lizard, I'll join any blighted team you want. Fine, but let me make one thing crystal clear. I set my own terms. Yes, under one condition, and this planet is only the beginning. I like the way you think. Fantastic, but time has come to show all the world the Phantom game is dead. Long live the Armageddon event game. Wow, this issue was... I don't really know what to think of it, really. I think I like the fact that it went around to different people. I reckon we went around to different people and get, like different points of view on it all. The people he's teaming up with, that was a unique surprise. I was not expecting Noel or Bassett Stockman to be part of his team. Leverkrang, or yeah, I can sort of see why he would want to be in it. But I don't know why he wants to lose the Leatherhead's body, because that gives him more power. I find Baxter Stockman. Oh, it does make a bit more sense now why he's teaming up with Null and all that. Yeah, the decision was okay. It's not what I was expecting. In terms of what because it's supposed to be like a big lead up event or big lead up to the event, and always Jonas just said, Leverkrang, Baxter, Null, you want to be part of the team? Good. But yeah, it's good to see the other locations. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you do like this one, please share, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Goodbye, yo. Bye.